Hello and welcome to the Attack of the Radioactive Thing low round guide. So, first off the bat we have to set up our Fate and Fortune cards. We don't need any specific cards in particular, so I just use generally useful ones. Coupon Clipper lets me get a free pack later. Black Friday lets me get some guns out of the box. Punching Bag is just some bonus points. Reanimated is if I go down during the boss. And Refund Policy lets me save some money on a few doors. Now I do have to give a disclaimer, just like with the Mephistopheles guide, I am playing on the IW7 client, but functionally, it is no different than playing on normal Infinite Warfare.
You're in for a scary good time tonight, darling. Though, if I'm running solo, I should have brought a few more toys to,
So, of course, you know I'm going to be playing as Elvira for this. So, I'm going to open an extra door here. This is to get my Fate and Fortune meter up so I can get a card sooner. The main thing we're doing right now is picking up a few parts and opening the map. I also hit the magic wheel here. I want something nice, but I'm mostly doing it to get some Fate and Fortune meter build up. So here I get the Xeon, which is okay, not really great. From here, I cook a grenade and throw it at this tree. This is to knock down a leg, which is one part for building the zombie. When I open this door, there's another part here. This is for the bomb later in the Easter egg. As I walk through the TV studio here, I pretty much just skip by Elvira. We don't need to talk to her more than 2 times for this Easter egg, so I don't want to hear any optional dialogue. I'm going to pick up an optional trap part here, and right under this car is another bomb part for the Easter egg. As we make our way up here, we're going to get our M number, which in this game is 18. All I can say is remember it for later. I'll drop off the gas can here and then go pick up the crowbar. As I open up the map, there are a lot of things I need to pick up. Fortunately, this isn't like Dead of the Night where there's multiple spawns for each part. On this map, everything is in the same place every time, every game. So I'm gonna walk over here. This is again another optional trap part, not needed. I'm gonna melee this. This is for the wonder weapon, not needed. Melee the mirror. This is needed for the Easter egg. And then I'm gonna make my way over here where I can drop off the trap piece. Again, optional. As we come down here, we're gonna pick up our first part for the chemistry step later in the Easter egg. As I make my way here, we pick up another piece for the chemistry step. And then right around this truck in this fire pit is another zombie part. Now, I was trying to do this from start to finish, showing the whole route so you can see where all the items are, but unfortunately, I had to pause to look at chat because I was doing this live. But when I open this door, I get my Fate and Fortune card, and I pop Refund Policy. This allows me to open these 2 middle doors, saving a significant amount of points. I want to have at least 5,000 points for the Kindle Pack-a-Punch later, and then I can use Coupon Clippers to get my free pack. As I finish waking my way down here, we use up the last of our Refund Policy, but more importantly, we get the power handle, and we get a preview of the zombie hand we're going to need later in the Easter egg. I also look up and check one of the O number spots to see what it's going to be, and then right over here we get our last bomb part. Cutting back to where I get to the top of the beach, I make my way over here and unlock another part for the wonder weapon, but also more importantly, I pick up a trap part that isn't optional. This is needed for the Easter egg. And then I also melee and grab the mirror here, although I have a little bit of trouble, so I have to knife it again and pick it up. As I head into the market, I am going to build an optional trap, but it is very useful for the boss fight. I'm also going to put down the freezer trap part so we can melee that carcass later. So I pick up the blueprint and I put down the first part of the mind control trap. I check my code here, which is 8778. As we head to the back here, I pick up the last part for the chemistry step, and then I make my way to the power room. Right over here, I pick up an optional trap part, but more importantly, I turn on the power. Once the power's on, I can put down this part. It does take a little bit, but that's all the traps built. They pretty much don't do anything. We only need the ice trap. What we're actually here for now is to put our first number of the code in. So we had 8778, so I just put in 8. I can put any of the numbers in any of the dials. I just need to make sure every number is put into at least one dial. Then, when I make my way into the store here, I pick up another part for the mind control trap and place it right on the bench. Now, before I continue completing the first lap around the map, I make my way here to the pressure valve and set it to 7. I also take a moment to pop my Black Friday to try to get a decent gun. Again, I don't need any gun in specific, and at the end of this, I end up getting an NV4. And then on my next hit here, I end up getting the wonder weapon of the map, which is the MAD. It's the unupgraded version, which is okay. I can just go pick up the upgraded parts that I've been unlocking. And I end up not getting any useful gun for my last thing, so I just stick with the NV4 and the MAD. And because I got the MAD out of the box, I can make my way back here and grab one of the upgrade parts for it. Coming back to power, I can turn on the first bridge connection to open the teleporters in the map, and then make my way down here to build another trap and to grab a few items. So what I'm picking up here are the pieces to build the seismic trap, which allows us to get the hand from the beach. Cutting ahead a little bit, I had to leave the zombies out of the building, but once they're out of my way, I can run back in. I'm going to pick up Elvira's book, the punch card, and then the seismic trap. And that completes our first lap around the map. So by this point, I should have one zombie leg, one zombie arm, 2 mirrors, all the bomb parts, all the chemistry step parts, the seismic wave generator, Elvira's book, and the punch card. And then I also can go get the torso if I feel like it. So with our first lap done, we can continue to put in the valve numbers. When we get to Elvira's TV station, I can open up the next bridge connection, as well as open up the next upgrade part for the wonder weapon. I took a moment to double check to make sure I have everything, but once I made sure, I talked to Elvira to give her book, and then we begin the color step. So now I'll try to explain this step as best as I can. So first, stopping the game. I like to use this website for the chemistry step. If we look in the chemistry step page, there are various text boxes we need to fill in with some of the information we're collecting from the map, such as our own number and our M number. Getting back to the game, now that we've given Elvira her book, she's going to give us her vial to fill up, and then while I'm here inside the trailer park, I'm also going to pick up the final part of the MAD. And then, I'm going to go check my own number. Now I went ahead and took a still frame here. We can see that the number is 2, but it's also not slashed, so we don't know if it's correct or incorrect yet. While I'm running around, I go ahead and place the seismic wave generator so I can bring out the zombie hand, and then I quickly check the bridge number here. I also quickly take a moment to run away and come back so that way no zombies get killed by the seismic wave generator, and then I pick up the hand. And while I'm on this side of the map, I pick up the final mind control trap piece, place it on the bench, and then I turn on the freeze trap. Now I do have to run away for a little bit so I don't get any zombies killed by the trap, but once it's done I can melee the carcass and pick up the torso. By this point I've also activated the bridge connection, so now I can teleport around the map, saving me a little bit of extra time. When I come back into the film studio, I have to change the color to green and then go recheck the O numbers that were not incorrect. So we check the trailer, the garage, and the grocery store, which we can see was not correct. On the way back to Elvira's studio, I go ahead and get the final valve number. And then we change the color to blue and go check the numbers again. So again, looking at another still frame, we can see the number is not 2, meaning that our last one is the garage, which is 4. Now that we have our O number, which is 4, we need to multiply it by our M number, which was 18, and that gives us the result of 72. And because 72 is greater than 71, I know I can set the color to green. Then all we have to do is come to the back of Elvira's studio and look at the acetylene diamond number, which is 71. Now, going back to the website, we can put in all the information we collected. So M number 18, O number 4, color green, 71 for our acetylene diamond. After that, we can set the color back to normal, and I'm going to take the time to lead the zombies out of the studio so I can check a number code. So if we look at our film reels here, we can see our number is 4, 3, 5, 6, 8. That is our code for the punch card step. And then, making my way back to the supermarket, I pick up the bomb code now that I've put all the numbers in the valves. And then, after a moment of double checking I have everything, I pick up the cleaver, and now we can finally kill zombies and get off of round 1. And as you can see here when I open up the menu, killing zombies with the cleaver slowly fills up the vial. By the end of round 2, I know I have half the vial filled, so I know on round 3, I'll be done with it. After a little bit of killing on round 3, I check to see, and my vial is full, so now I can deliver it to Elvira. Once we give her the vial, we need to move outside of the parking lot where there is a barely visible circle outside that she's going to open up. Now once I see this flash and hear Elvira say, "Just what I was looking for," I go ahead and leave, that way she doesn't kill any of my zombies once she's off the couch. Essentially all I'm trying to do is run Elvira's timer out and get her to disappear. Now before I let Elvira fully disappear, I go ahead and pick up the mirror, that way I don't have to sit through a little dialogue before the game lets me pick it up. And then I go ahead and go into Pack-a-Punch, upgrade my Kindle, then I pop my coupon clippers, and this lets me get a free double pack for my Kindles. Now the most important thing we need to do in here is push this button and go back into the map, which will teleport us to the trailer, allowing us to pick up the zombie head. By this point, Elvira is also going to be done with her timer and disappear. Now if I hadn't picked up the mirror earlier, I would have to wait for a dialogue between Willard and Elvira to finish before I could pick up the mirror off the couch, which is why I made sure to pick it up earlier. On round 4, nothing special happens. I just use the cleaver to get some more zombie kills and fill up another vial. Now that we are on round 5, radioactive zombies will spawn. We need to kill one with a cleaver to cut off its leg, and that gives us the final zombie part. From there, we can make our way back to spawn and put down the mirror in these locations here, here, and finally here. And then we can put our zombie parts all on the table here. So I take a moment to train up all the zombies and make sure they're not going to be in my way while I put in this code. This code is that number we got from the film reel earlier, which in this game was 43568, which I go ahead and check here, make sure I have the correct number before I go ahead and put it in. Once the number has been put in correctly, you can push interact on the button, and that will fire a laser, reanimating the zombie. And now I take a moment to train up all my zombies again and get them out of the way. Now, before we continue, I'll explain how we put in our second number. So the first number we had, 43568, we need to now put in backwards, 86534. So once my zombies are out of the way, I go ahead and put in the code, 86534. Then I push F on the laser, which fires it again, but this time instead of reanimating the zombie, we kill him and turn him into a key. So yeah, essentially all that nonsense was just to get a key for a garage door. So now that we have the garage door open, we can pick up the pages for Elvira's book, which I end up not giving her in this game, and more importantly put down the chemistry step part, and put down the bomb part. So now we can finally begin one of the most dreaded infamous steps on this map, the chemistry step. So if we look at the website, we can see there are 4 possible chemicals we can build. Normally, you're supposed to get a battery, put it into a radio, and Dr. Bright will tell you which chemical is the correct one. Because we cannot do that in this game because batteries don't spawn until after round 5, we have to guess which chemical it is. So that means I just have to build each chemical and hope I get the right one. So I make my way to the crowbar to pick it up now because it's going to be required to pick up a few chemicals later. So if we go back to the website, I decide to guess octahydro 2,5-nitro-347-parazosine as my chemical. And if you click on this question mark here, it will show you a picture in the bottom right corner of where that part is located. Now you can see me picking up the racing fuel here, but then I also put in some numbers into the computer. The numbers you're going to put in are on this part of the website here. So as you can see here, I put down my pennies, I hit enter. When I run back into this room, you can see formaldehyde sitting on the table, which was the product of the racing fuel, quarters, and the number I put in. If you get the number wrong, you will take damage and go red screen. So if you got your number incorrectly, go check your M and O number and make sure they are correct. So I'm gonna save y'all a bit of running around. I ended up building all 4 chemicals on the map because I guessed wrong 3 times in a row. So my actual final chemical ended up being 3-methyl-2,4-dinitrobenzene. So I ended up running around for about 2 minutes picking the ingredients up for octahydro, and the reason why I built this one first is because it's the quickest one to build. So if I guessed it right, I would save a lot of time, but it ended up not being correct. As you can see here, when I pick it up and try to put it in the bomb, nothing happens. So after spending 8 minutes of my time building the wrong chemicals, I have only 1 chemical left to build, 3-methyl-2,4-dinitrobenzene. So I place it on the computer here, and I go ahead and type in the numbers, which in this game was 23. I pick up the paint here and bring it back to the table. And then I pick up the drain opener and bring that back to the table and hit enter on the computer, which will produce a nice batch of methylbenzene. Then I pick up some vinegar, bring it back to the table. And while I'm here, I go ahead and type in the number 27. And while I'm here, I go ahead and pick up the methylbenzene and put it on the table, just as the website says. And then I go pick up the detergent and bring it back to the table. Then I pick up the baking soda, put it on the table. And for some reason, my number cleared out. I know I typed in 27, so I don't know what happened. I just know that I have to type it in again. And then I get to hit enter on the computer, making us a nice batch of dinitro. So following the website, all we need is racing fuel, combine it with dinitro, and put 17 on the computer, hit enter, and that gives us the 3-methyl-2,4-dinitrobenzene. So as you can see here on the counter, our final chemical is sitting there. All I have to do is push F and put it into the bomb, which takes me a little bit because I'm getting surrounded by zombies. But once it's in, I walk out, train for a little bit, and then push F to start the countdown. So now that the bomb is charging, the next time you push F on it, it will take you in the boss fight. So by this point, you want to have everything you feel like you're going to need for it. So for me, I have double pack Kindles, I have a hypnosis device, I also have an AR, and then the MAD as a bonus. So I could have double packed my NV4, but I decided not to. I just went straight into the boss. Starting off the boss fight, I go ahead and pop my reanimated, and then I go ahead and push the bomb a little bit. When I do that, the Krog is going to launch a bunch of these explosive balls at me, so I'm going to shoot a few of them, make sure I don't die. And then I'm going to do a cool little trick. If you push the bomb just a little bit and you wait till it starts turning like this, back up, and then run with your Kindles out, you'll be able to jump on the bomb easily every time. Once you learn this trick, I feel like it's hard to not do. I feel like I never fail this trick. And now that we're up here, the zombies cannot get us, so we can basically freely escort the bomb to its final destination. Now, just like I did with Mephistopheles, I'm going to let the fight play out in its entirety so you can see the full thing from start to finish, and occasionally I'll explain things as they happen. After we get about halfway through the beach, the Krogmire is going to launch more fireballs, and we need to shoot the ones that are going to hit us, as well as shooting this green one so a Krog doesn't spawn on the beach. And then we just continue escorting the bomb. So by this point, unfortunately, the bridge is going to push us off the bomb, forcing us to train on foot. Luckily, the bomb cannot lose progress now that we're more than halfway through the beach. So all I have to do is keep myself alive and keep escorting the bomb forward.
Newsflash. Pay no attention to the bimbo in the thrift store dress.
So this is the unfortunate downside of live streaming this. I'm getting distracted because I'm trying to read chat and be a good streamer, but I'm unfortunately not getting the good footage of watching the bomb getting launched into the Krog's mouth. But either way, now that we're at this point, we need to shoot the death ray at the Krog's weak spot, and it only gets exposed in the first phase when it's attacking. After that, for the next 2 hits, it's going to be available to shoot all the time, as you will see. Now, I managed to get the first hit. I make it look easy. It's a lot harder than it really is. And I'm pausing the game because I'm going, yes, I got it. All right, let's go. Now, I opened this door here. I left this door closed on purpose so zombies wouldn't be coming from here. And this lets me run up and get these 2 shots back to back easily. And then I almost get red screen and down here. I pop a hypnosis device just to save myself. I probably could have survived without it, but I didn't want to take any chances. And now I have to wait for the bomb to allow me to push F to begin the next sequence of the boss fight. Once I push F on the bomb, this begins the survival section of the boss fight. So now all I have to do is defend myself from zombies, avoid the Krogs that are going to be shot out, as well as backing up and avoiding the vomit acid that the Krogmire is going to be spitting out. I also push F at this point to get Elvira on the map. This allows me to get a revive from her if I go down, saving me and Up and Adams. Now, unfortunately, because I didn't give Elvira her pages, all she has is the E-Rad. If I had given her pages, she would have been able to shoot fire at the zombies, give me a lot better protection, but I don't really need it since I have the Mad and the Kindles to keep myself alive. Following the final wave of Krogs, I know that a few lasers are going to spawn, and I need to make my way towards the bomb. So I wait here, watch for the lasers, run over their path, slide under those, slide under here. I make sure not to run and just walk under those, and then I get to the bomb. So my code in this game was 15342. Now, getting 1 in my code at the beginning was very annoying because it's kind of a tricky number to put in. So I end up actually messing it up twice, and I finally get it on my 3rd input here. Now, on the stream, I wasn't nervous. I knew I was going to get this, and if I didn't, I would just do the laser step again and come right back in. But with the code successfully put in, we kill the Krogmire, beating the Easter egg on round 5. And with that, I'd like to thank y'all for watching the video. I normally don't do videos like this, and I would really like to catch y'all on the stream. So if you ever want to watch one, go check out my Twitch channel, link in the description, and you can join the Discord if you'd like. But other than that, y'all have a great day and take care.
Shellfish again? Ever?
Ugh, you and me both.
I am really feeling the need to get out of this place, time period, whatever you want to call it. Maybe off to somewhere with a little more color.
Ready when you are, my friend.
Ugh! Oh, this is so nasty. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, shit. If you guys thought the zombies were bad.
What is it? Some kind of big...
Shut up, AJ!
What? What did I say?
To be continued.
Ah!